Oh, hello and welcome.
Yeah.
This is the Viking Poet 84 with the esteemed budding new artist Ell3s3. And she's all about social class. It's so interesting. I came across this through the Twitter space, and it's just such a dynamic and great community, the Cardano community. But this isn't about me. It's about you. You are the artist. So can you can you introduce yourself as a human being and an artist?
Hi, I'm Ell3s3. That's my artist name. I'm a mother of two, and this is usually my work hours, about 11 o'clock at night after my children go to sleep.
Wow, that sounds pretty deep. Like that, you've got those responsibilities, and then this is the only time you have for that creativity. It sounds like that's quite a challenge to surmount.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space either because I'm just in a one-bedroom flat. I'm actually in a little cupboard giving this interview.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
nice cupboard though.
hopefully it's warm, but I'm sorry to hear that. So how did you get into crypto?
Do you want the honest answer?
We could go. Let's just go for the honest answer.
um, uh, well, originally a guy from uni kept banging on about crypto, and I was just kind of like, oh, not interested at all. And then he became a millionaire, and I was like, oh. And yeah, like a few people like I knew were quite deep into the crypto scene. Like I used to be in a quite a heavy activist scene, and hang around with like some of the people who were making these crypto wallets and things like dark wallet.
Mm,
But I kind of wasn't like, I was too deep into philosophy at the time.
mhm.
I kind of didn't really give it too much attention. But when you find just no money and your friends going, get crypto, I've got a house in Portugal, you're kind of like, maybe I should into this crypto thing.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that's how I got into crypto.
Okay, that's cool. But why specifically Cardano? What do you like about Cardano?
Um, I really like, as a mom and just like a generally as a human being, I kind of like despair at the state the planet's in, and crypto isn't known to be very environmentally friendly because of the gas fees. But
Mm,
Cardano, because it's really efficient, is kind of the most environmentally friendly option that's up and coming in the crypto market. So it's also quite cheap. It's also quite cheap. So that's, win-win.
yeah, I agree. Like, I think it has got some solid green credentials, and I think a lot of people in the community find that. I certainly concur with those views there. Like, a lot of people I know are hesitant around cryptocurrency because of the electrical cost. But when Cardano's come along with its with such an environmentally conscious platform and just a leveling up platform, like they're doing great things in the so-called developing world. In like Tanzania, they're setting up greater telecommunication through something like a sister chain called World Mobile. So that's really interesting as well. So yeah, you're right, and I think it's an ambition of Cardano to level up. It's like leveling up and leveling up opportunity. I think it's one thing the internet can do. It's just like, I'm not the biggest massive fan of capitalism, but it's that invisible hand and connecting people together for opportunity. And if we can do, if we can do capitalism with at least some kind of consciousness and a human face, that's a step up from where we are now.
No more than me.
So how did you get into NFTs? Because I believe you're creating an NFT collection, which, well, you've shown me some of your stuff.
Yeah, well, again, um, well, I had a few people try and talk to me about NFTs, but
Mhm.
as a mother of two, you're a bit like, yeah, yeah, all right, love, whatever, okay, tell me about it later, okay, you just like over my head. But then I started hearing about people again making loads of money from NFTs, and I know this just sounds like, ooh, loads of money, ooh, loads of money. I think I was quite idealistic for a long time, thinking you don't need any money, but because I'm not like a big gang of men who can just take people's land, we're all under like the thumb. So I kind of felt like maybe if I get a bit of money, there'll be some liberation in that if I can kind of, maybe buy land and open it up to the public or some aspiration like that. So yeah, so I started learning about NFTs and CryptoPunks, and I was just like in disbelief at how much money they were selling for. And then I got coronavirus about 3 weeks ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
That's okay. I'm still like recovering. I'm a bit of a fraggle, but yeah, yeah. I got coronavirus 3 weeks ago, and then I was just consigned to my bed, and I'm just like a very active person, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna start making NFTs. How do you do this shit?" And just started getting on it, on the
Okay.
NFTs, not on anything else.
Okay, but like you have formerly done other things in art. I believe you're quite into punk music. You've done the philosophy, as have I. We've got
Yeah.
a shared interest there. That's safe to say. So what's your kind of artistic inspiration?
Disparity.
Yeah.
Oh, but you mean like, do you mean where I get my inspiration, or like looking at other artists?
Well, like before we go into other artists, like where does your inspiration come from?
Well, I kind of looked at CryptoPunks and thought they were a bit shit, and I was like, I could do that. And but then somebody said to me, "Do you know what, Elise? You can actually do something a bit better than that."
Mm,
Because half of it was kind of taking the piss out of it, but then there's another side to it where you can actually create amazing digital art.
mm,
Um, and I wanted to continue in the vein of my other projects that I'm doing on class and the arts. So yeah, it kind of came naturally. It just like came easily to me to start doing ones on social disparity. And yeah, my friend, who's also my music manager, said to me that why don't you do like different backgrounds and make it a bit more, so it was kind of just like a fluid thing. And then I just started getting loads of ideas, just wrote them all down. Um, and then I've just been making them every night when the kids are tucked tightly into bed.
right. That, that definitely sounds like a grind and a grind and a challenge there. That's for sure. Um, However, like I really like some of the energy around. I've seen some of the stuff that you've done. I really love the energy around it. I'm going to try and actually get a picture of one up as we're speaking, but I'll see if I can get one. If I can't get one, I'll get one towards the end. And I just like to. It's probably one of my favorite pieces I think I've seen of your work. It's got a really raw energy to it. It looks like it's around an estate. Can you elaborate about that?
um, is that the one T Block Life?
Yes, T Block Life. That one I really like.
um, so I grew up in Southeast London, and just witnessed a lot of kind of violence associated with poverty and gangs forming as a way of kind of protecting. It's like a kind of
Mhm.
defensive protective mechanism for like
Yeah.
the people from like broken down homes and stuff,
Mm.
and living in like concrete jungles, as they're called. And in Thamesmead, you have a really kind of strong concrete architectural landscape
Mhm.
that is just quite intimidating actually, and breeds like quite a hostile, intimidating atmosphere. It's kind of got quite a heavy Nigerian population there that I wanted to represent, because like a lot of the ethnic minorities, as they're called, are kind of like given a hard kind of rap in the media and by the police, and they constantly kind of like pulled over like 8 times more than your
Mm.
average Caucasian.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're just kind of coming up more in like a harder lifestyle. I just wanted to represent them. that kind of, yeah, like that kind of lifestyle.
Well, it definitely sounds like there's like a kind of nobility to what you're doing there. That sounds really interesting. You know what? I've just found that link now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to share. I'm just going to share this so people can see, because these are 3 pieces that really struck a chord with me. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to stop recording. I'm still recording. So please bear with me, people. I'm going to present a screen. Okay, so present a screen, a tab, and I'm going to present. Yes, here we go. Share. Okay, here we go. Can you see that?
I can't. Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
can see something. Hello.
Hello. Right. So we'll be round the side. So there's 3 pieces here. Do you mind just kind of quickly explaining like each one? So you kind of explained this one here in the middle. Can you
Yeah,
see
so
my?
you can't see that's the token. So I made like the landscapes and I did kind of like the
Mhm.
different variation of it with the tokens to
Oh,
kind of
okay.
look more at the character. But in the middle one, T Block Life, which is T Block was the name of the gang that was popular.
Mhm, mhm,
um, that there is like the state in the background.
mhm,
But well done for getting it up so nicely. The one on the left um, represents a close friend of mine,
mhm,
Sean Ash, who
mhm,
also, like me, comes from a really working class background and tried to get through university. But because of his like social problems that he was facing, he didn't manage to complete his degree.
mhm,
So that happens a lot with people from working class backgrounds because of the different issues that they face specific to their class.
mhm,
They're like much more likely not to be able to complete their degree.
mhm,
But unfortunately, he got a rare condition um, because he's like, I think it is again associated with his class because he's got a lack of support. He was
mhm.
trying to do too much and he didn't have help with his children. And he had a spinal injury and he carried on trying to like continue with like a lack of support. And then it ended up like he got paralyzed. But
Yeah.
that's just kind of like a comical take on it, really, to lighten the mood. That's
Mm,
peak, just like some of the just trials and tribulations that people in wheelchairs face. It also kind of is pointing towards like the social, I think it's called social construct theory around disability. So it's not that the person is disabled, it's that the environment is disabling for them. So there, like high curbs can kind of present being like
mm,
quite an obstacle. So there you go, that's peak. And then the last one, enough said, is obviously about Grenfell. And
mm.
I don't know, I think it's quite obvious.
Yeah.
And then it's another really horrific class issue that where again predominantly black people who do disproportionately make up the working classes face like a horrendous time because of the council's really poor attitudes towards spending um,
Yeah.
in poorer architectural
The
um,
cladding, the cladding. So sorry, just to interject, if anyone who's non-British, they may not understand. So this was a famous tower block in London, which had very poor cladding, and it set on fire. And the reason it set on fire so quickly was because of the government refused really to invest in the architecture of that building, and it led to a lot of people dying needlessly. So it's a massive tragedy, a massive scene of tragedy in London. So yeah, that's something that's very emotive for your average Londoner.
yeah.
Um, okay, that's really lovely. I'm going to stop sharing that screen now. Okay, so just give me a second. Oh, that was really lovely, by the way that you explained your art there. I really
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
uh,
no, it is a bit. It's quite upsetting, actually, really, because it's just like needless suffering, isn't it, in a first world
yeah,
country? Um,
of
yeah,
course. So sorry, just to this structure this interview. I think there's some other artists that you're saying you like the photographer Ionette, like
yeah, I
is
do like Ionette. Did I say that already?
yeah, yeah. Well, no, you didn't. You mentioned it to me before the interview, but you said how you
Yeah,
liked photography of Amsterdam.
yeah, yeah. No, I just felt like those were quite inspirational. Those photographs, and yeah, like the portraits really helped
Yes.
me
Yeah. I
to.
like them. I really like them because she's done some that are just plain portraits, like in kind of chrome or black and white, and then she's done another couple where she adds like more idealistic colors. And I had a conversation with her. I said it
Oh,
reminded me of,
really?
yeah, I said it reminded me of Van Hocker. That's how you pronounce it, apparently. Van Hocker, not Van Gogh. And then there's another artist that is it's just these circles. So they're not even aware that maybe you're fans of them. But we were talking about Kezi, who's a
Yeah,
Canadian,
no, that she does some great work. I really like her stuff.
like the waifu stuff, like, and
Yeah.
the fox hunt.
Is that how you say it as well?
I
Not
think
sure.
that's how you pronounce it. I wasn't really into this kind of stuff, but I saw her art and I thought it was like really strong. So I was like, wow, look at that. And then obviously I've seen yours, I've seen Ionette's, and
I
we've got
like someone else, I think their name's Nudes.
yes, yeah, that guy. He talks to me on Twitter quite a lot, and he's got this amazing project to do like a library on the Cardano blockchain. Now that's just amazing, isn't it? Like,
Wow, yeah, that's really good. That's really inspirational.
I think we're going to do a Shakespeare. I'm recording Shakespeare sonnets, and we're going to put them up, and be there for people. I know the Cardano's got an educational project in Ethiopia, so to hear someone maybe who's native English read those sonnets out, it might be helpful. I hope it's helpful. By the way, as well as this, we're in a little club together, the 133 Crypto Punks, aren't we?
Yeah. For the people who didn't make it into the original crypto punks, there might be a second chance in the 133 crypto club. Yeah.
Well, if history repeats itself, which it can do in cryptocurrencies, the first mover on a Cardano blockchain in terms of crypto punks, that could be quite an exciting project to be in.
Much better than the first cryptos.
Yeah. Well, Ethereum's gas fees are just terrible. So have you got any kind of projects outside of crypto that you're working on, or are you intertwining crypto and
Yeah.
together?
So that is Class, which is the name of the NFT project that I'm
Mhm.
doing, is basically born out of a wider project I'm doing. So I think you can look it up on Google now. I've just finished a website nearly,
Mhm.
that is class.uk. And not .co.uk. Weirdly,
Mhm.
people can't seem to like quite fit with that. Even if I say just .uk, they're like .co.uk. No, just .uk. Yeah, so that was I was doing another project, and off the back of that, I got a job working in a think tank
Wow.
for Sadiq Khan on trying to
Really?
improve job conditions for creative freelancers in London.
Okay,
And
sorry, just 1 second. Sadiq Khan is the mayor of London. For people who aren't from London who don't understand that name drop there. So wow, you've worked for like Sadiq Khan. That's just amazing.
Thanks. I didn't get to meet him though.
Still,
We were
still, the
just
association is great, right?
yeah. So yeah, so they were talking about how to improve job conditions for creative freelancers in London, and my main like point was like how class is a massive issue in the arts. There's been no social mobility for working class people in the arts. It's really heavily dominated by middle class people disproportionately, and
Mm,
it's just like so many barriers that are put up within that specific sector for working class people. Now, I'm surprised, like I was just joking the other day, I was doing this thing called Battle of the MCs, and I was interviewing some of the MCs, and we were joking about that we wouldn't be surprised if next you need a degree in MCing or DJing. The art sector's just become, you have to have a degree and you have to give so much free work. But anyway, so I'm doing That Is Class project, trying to kind of challenge that, and we've developed like a toolkit to give to businesses on how to be less classist, and we're going to be putting on some festivals for working class people to show their art. And yeah, it's quite a new project, but the NFTs, the why I've designed them is because I want the money from the NFTs to not only benefit those who buy the NFTs in the long run, but to benefit the projects. So it's
mm.
going to be kind of like giving in a way that you can receive back,
That
because if you
sounds great.
donate to a normal charity,
Mm,
you don't really get any kind of like, unless you're, under that umbrella of the charity of whom they're trying to help, you don't really get anything back apart from like a good feeling that you've helped
mm,
someone. But with NFTs, if you give to a project, and you get an NFT, if that obviously increases in value, you'll get
mm.
money back yourself. So I really strongly encourage, like, especially other working class artists to purchase the NFTs, because then in time,
Yeah.
like, it will definitely help them in the long run.
Well,
But
with the
it
community on
will
Cardano,
help
that's
from anybody.
it's more than possible. I was speaking to a guy today, CNFT Pro, and he's like he didn't get to do a degree, but basically what he's done, he got into Cardano blockchain early, and he was able to he's for the last 9 months he's just really worked on his art, and he's been making it for these like pools on Cardano and selling his art. But he feels like he's fit a degree into the last 9 months, because all he's been doing is just working within the Cardano circles, making art for people, and they've been purchasing it. So it's almost like instead of taking that bourgeois route, he's just found this opportunity, and it's taking him there, and he feels that's completely equal to what he would have done in a 4-year college. So like I'm definitely going to put. I mentioned you in his. I did an interview with him today as well. So I mentioned you in that one. But there's a Cardano community kind of like art competition where people can speak about their NFTs, and I know that you're going to enter that, right?
Yeah, I was just trying to get to grips with Twitter still, because I just got Twitter because apparently you need Twitter in order to be like an NFT artist, even though I've resisted for so long. So I'm still trying to traverse Twitter.
Have you got it on your phone, or have you got it on a computer? Like, how are you accessing it? Like,
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't really have a very good phone. It doesn't let me download any apps for some reason.
mm.
Um, but yeah, I've got it on my computer. I'm just like, but obviously I can't really easily. I have to hide my computer during the day from the boys because they're just very active. So this is the only time I get to go on my computer is at night. So
like I don't know what we could do. We could put your wallet address, and like I was walking through London today. I saw some Nokia phones like for £90, but they're smartphones, and I'm sure they work, and I'm sure you could download Twitter on that. So maybe the Cardano community could be a bit giving there, and
I don't expect that to happen.
well, like Joe, what you may not expect it to happen, but if someone watches this interview and it resonates with them, then it could happen.
I'm generous Cardano millionaire.
Well, that's all you need, and you never
Can I have a phone?
you never know.
I only like accept second-hand phones anyway. I would only purchase second-hand phones because of the way they mine the minerals in the Congos and all of the crap that they have to put up with.
I mean, certainly there's a legacy of imperialism there. As a historian, I'm completely with you.
Phone. Or ma'am.
I'm sure someone will. But I'm really sorry you've got this cough, by the way, from COVID. I really hope you recover soon. Like, my heart really goes out to you there.
Thank you. Yeah,
I think this is a good place to conclude. It was a really enjoyable conversation. So
thank you for taking the time to interview me.
That's all right. It's absolutely no problem. So can you just give your Twitter handle just in case people
I think that is Class NFT. Or
okay.
at Class NFT.
Yeah, so at Class NFT, and mine is at Viking Poet 84. So guys, subscribe or like or follow and retweet. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to stop recording now, and then we just have a little conversation towards the end there. So 1 second. It hasn't recording yet. All right, stop recording. Stop.